Hey bourbon fans, I'm Tim the Suburban Dad, helping dads find great bourbon. Today I'm going to compare some Texas whiskey to some Kentucky whiskey. Why? Because they're both 133 proof, and I just want to kind of open up the discussion about climate, parts of the country, how that influences whiskey inside. So let's get to it. Couple things first. In the next coming weeks, I'll be switching my studio. I've been banished down to our basement because apparently our baby needs his own room or something. So the studio, things will be looking a little different. Same great content as always, but it'll just be a little bit different scenery. So stay tuned. Second, I got the privilege of interacting with one of you guys not too long ago. I was outside shoveling snow and all of a sudden a police car pulled up. And I quickly looked around thinking, oh boy, am I doing something I'm not supposed to? No, turns out Officer Greg is a fan of the show and spotted me with his diligent eyes and stopped to chat, and it was great. Cheers to you, Officer Greg. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for your vigilance keeping our neighborhood safe. Appreciate you. Today we're going over two awesome whiskeys. We got one that's bourbon you all know and love, Elijah Craig C923, 133 proof, 13 years, 7 months old. And we've got a store pick of Balcones True Blue Cask Strength Straight Corn Whiskey. Now you might be thinking these are very different mash bills. They are 100% corn, 78% corn, 12% malted barley, 10% rye. This one's aged only 55 months, so not even quite 6 years, less than half the age of this one. I don't know if it's just the bottle style or what, but this Balcones looks like pure motor oil compared to Elijah Craig, which Elijah Craig has great color to it. Enough chit chat, let's get to pouring. So this Balcones is 133.8 proof. Now, as these open up, let's take a look at the color difference here. They are very close in color. It's really hard to make out a huge heck of a difference. Again, the Balcones might be just a shade darker than the Elijah Craig. Again, aged in Kentucky, aged in Texas. The climate in Texas ages that whiskey so much faster. That's why you can get real dark, rich whiskey even after just 55 months as opposed to 13 years. If this sucker was in the barrel for 13 years down in Texas, first of all, there'd be nothing left. Second of all, it'd probably be like 187 proof. So Elijah Craig, we already know and love this one. On the nose, very rich and inviting velvety caramel. Just caramel candy is what it smells like. Just amazing sweetness, rich. Now, Balcones. By the way, Elijah Craig, minimal ethanol burn there on the nose, just fantastic for 133 proof. Okay, so the Balcones is similar. It's got more of a caramel corn note to it. Shocker. But very, very dark, rich caramel. How do I describe this to you all? Imagine just the color of caramel. If we had like a light colored, more milky type caramel versus a dark molassesy type caramel. I don't even know if this makes sense at all. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts. Darker, richer is all I can think of for this one. So the Elijah Craig, let's have a little sip. Again, that caramel carries through, a little bit of spice, a little bit of oak, sweet oak, very nice. Sweet candy-like, caramel spice, a little bit of oak. Very long, coating, rich finish. Beautiful. Balcones is a Texas company based out of Waco, Texas. They are the leading company, according to me, for American single malt. It's not just me, they have pioneered the American single malt category, and they do a bang up job with American single malt whiskey. So you should check out some of their other stuff. One of these days they'll collaborate with me. Let's have a taste of the Balcones. Right off the bat, compared to Elijah Craig, there are some pluses in each and some minuses in each. I would say overall, the flavor of the Balcones is richer and more velvety It's very startlingly easy to drink for 133.8 proof. It does taste younger than the Elijah Craig. Not gonna lie, definitely has more of that corn forward taste to it. You definitely can get more of the youth to it. It's very interesting in contrast to Elijah Craig. Side by side, the Elijah Craig definitely is spicier. Makes sense because it has rye in it. Man, if I could somehow marry these two together, their best features, it would be the slam dunk of whiskeys. Balcones is actually really easier to drink. The Elijah Craig is a little bit more of a punch in the mouth. Overall, the Elijah Craig is still better, but for 133.8 proof, this is not bad. And retail, I think this is right around 60-ish bucks. It's a single barrel pick from Total Wine & More. It'd be interesting to see how this puppy opens up. When I put them side by side, the youth of the whiskey is very evident. Now, as a surprise guest, I have another Kentucky whiskey, Mellow Corn. I've tried this once so far and was not a fan. However, it is straight corn whiskey, bottled in bond, so it's at least 4 years old. So, could be similar in age to the Balcones. The proof point is way off, 100 proof versus 133.8. The color is not even on the same palette, I don't think. Here we're talking about artist palette. Apple juice colored over here with the mellow corn and rich ambery sweet tea syrup looking with the Balcones. Mellow corn. Very thin, watery, doesn't coat, barely has any flavor, sweet, fruity, just like, ugh. So bland, just, bleh. Does anybody want a bottle of mellow corn? Back to the Balcones. For 133.8 proof, this is ridiculous. It drinks so easily. This one's way better than that, duh. $15 bottle versus $60. So the difference here is Texas ages a lot faster, you get more richness, depth to it. Even, I guarantee, if you pulled this straight out of the barrel, it was the same proof, this would still kill it every time. I mean, just, that is so poor colored. This drinks so easily for the proof point. So there you have it, a little comparison of Texas versus Kentucky. Kentucky is known as the bourbon capital of the world, and it is. Texas does make some good bourbon. This is not bourbon, but they also make bourbon down there. I've seen some people lately online saying that bourbon can only be made in Kentucky, and that's not true. It just has to be in the United States. Fun fact. So have you gotten to try Texas whiskey? Have you gotten to try mellow corn? What do you think of them? What do you think of corn whiskey? Have you ever done side by side with whiskeys from different states? What's been your experience? Let me know all that in the comments. Thanks for watching, and